We begin with a quick look at what's making this morning's national headlines. Hurricane Florence has arrived in the Carolinas. It's no longer a Category 4 storm, but while its sustained wind speeds have slowed, it is expected to bring historic rains and flooding to the region. More than 1.5 million residents along the coast have been told to evacuate their homes ahead of what could be a 13-foot storm surge. Landfall is expected sometime today. And meanwhile, at least one person is dead and about a dozen others were injured after a gas leak north of Boston caused dozens of houses to burst into flames. 8,000 homes in 3 communities had to be evacuated. CBS's Kenneth Craig is there with the latest.
Firefighters high above the ground attempted to douse this home engulfed in flames. It's just one of dozens to catch fire across 3 towns north of Boston.
I've been in the fire service for almost 39 years and I've never seen anything like this. It looked like Armageddon. It really did.
An apparent explosion blew the walls off of this house and cracked the side of the home in 2.
There was somewhere between 60 and 80 fires, structure fires across the 3 communities, at least 3 explosions as well.
Authorities blame the fire on gas lines that became overpressurized. One man said the furnace in his basement burst into flames. Crews scrambled to battle all the different fires, which would hit one home and then another several blocks away. Residents in this neighborhood told me around 5 o'clock they heard and felt a loud explosion and then minutes later saw fire trucks and first responders flooding their streets.
Just heard like a massive explosion. It just shook the house. So at that point, we got out of the house.
Entire neighborhoods were evacuated with fears any house could be next. Crews worked to depressurize the gas lines so people could return to their homes.
Right now, the focus is every house, go in there, shut the gas off, make it safe so people can back in their house as soon as possible.
Power was shut down in hopes of preventing another fire, leaving thousands in the dark. The FBI is investigating, along with state and local authorities. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, North Andover, Massachusetts.
Overnight, some residents were allowed back into their homes. At least 1,800 residents of one community are still being advised not to return just yet. Closer to home, one man is in custody after a 3-hour-long standoff with Billings law enforcement in the Rose Park neighborhood. It began shortly after 6 o'clock Thursday evening when a man barricaded himself inside a home on the 2200 block of Avenue B, leading to a standoff with Billings police and a SWAT team. Around 8 o'clock, people reported hearing a flashbang grenade. An officer spoke through a bullhorn asking the person inside to come out peacefully. Just after 9 p.m., the man was arrested without incident. According to the Billings PD, the man arrested was a suspect in another crime and part of an ongoing investigation which led police to the home. Near the small community of Clarkston, some 10 structures, including 3 homes, have burned in this week's Horseshoe wildfire. MTM's Mallory Peebles takes us to the fire line for an up-close look at the firefighting effort.
This is the worst of it, a home, a complete loss. But just 100 yards away, there's a structure that was saved, proof that a fire's path is anything but predictable. Buckets of water sit next to a charred hose. A melted basketball hoop hangs, and a foundation sits with nothing above.
I'm sure there was a fairly large ember shower that was being casted down onto this house.
When you look back at the peak of the Horseshoe fire, you can see its fury. Flames reached 50 feet in length, according to officials. With wind and dry heat, conditions were perfect for it to spread quickly. And it did. More than 1,300 acres, most within the first few hours. In total, 10 buildings were lost, including 3 homes, at least.
There may be other structure remains there, but we cannot identify what they are.
Gallatin County Sheriff's Office is working to get a final count on what's been lost, and fire crews continue to work on containment.
Basically doing what we call gridding, looking for hot spots along the edge. We start on the outside edge of the fire and then we work our way in.
Weather conditions have improved, but the ground is still dry and juniper trees are trapping heat. Even without high-stretching flames, The fire is holding on.
To be honest, we are still kind of in that fire season. We're in the middle of September, but it's dry. The weather hasn't really decided whether it wants to turn to fall or stay summer.
With so much still at risk, crews don't plan to leave anytime soon. People are able to return to their homes or what's left to begin salvage and recovery. Reporting from Clarkston, I'm Mallory Peebles with MTN News.
At least 2 dogs are missing, but at this point there have been no livestock or pet casualties. Now watch as this 200-ton boulder comes crashing down above Mountain View Boulevard Thursday morning in Billings. Terracon consultants have been hired to do preventative work to try to ensure that more rim chunks don't fall in this area in the future. You may recall this past June when a large rock slide damaged a garage and crushed a vehicle on Mountain View Boulevard. Usually dynamite would be used to bring the rocks down, but because of the close proximity of homes, Terracon opted to use inflatable pillow technology, which prevents smaller rocks from shooting out.
If it's in a position where you can, go ahead and push the rock off, make it fall, and then rather than wait for it to happen at some odd time and possibly injure somebody or damage some property.
Continuing our coverage, the man who died in the crash of his experimental aircraft at the Billings Airport Wednesday has now been identified. The Yellowstone County Coroner's Office says 74-year-old Robert Larry Coons of Billings died from multiple blunt force trauma injuries. Authorities say the accident was not medical related. Coons' experimental gyrocopter crashed into a private hangar at Billings Logan International Airport just before 1 o'clock Wednesday afternoon. The aircraft is similar to helicopters, but smaller and flying lower and slower. The NTSB and the FAA started their investigation Thursday morning. In business news, a Billings bar and grill is getting a fresh start by changing its name in hopes of changing its reputation. Bones Arcade closed Thursday, but the business plans to reopen Monday with a whole new name as the Plaza Arcade Bar. The general manager says they're rebranding and revamping, trying to combat an old reputation.
You know, they had some great things going here in the past, and then I know there were some issues, and they've had some problems in the past with just unfortunate events, and that's what we're trying to erase. We want to really show the community that we are changing. Different food, different environment, different establishment, just different all around, and a lot more fun and exciting.
The new Plaza Arcade Bar reopens on Monday at 3 and also features an entirely new menu. Roads in Havre were paved thanks to a nationally known franchise. Domino's launched its Paving for Pizza program in June, asking customers to nominate their town for a grant that will pay to repair potholes. Havre was one of 11 U.S. cities selected for a grant. Domino's donated $5,000 to pay for materials. Workers and heavy machinery were paid for by the city of Havre. A total of 137,000 people nominated more than 15,000 zip codes in all 50 states. Elsewhere, Reflex Protect is a non-lethal defense product that was originally designed for use in hospitals. Now, one Western Montana school is using it to defend its classrooms. The Polson School District is the first in the country to implement the solution. As MTN's Connor McCauley reports, Reflex Protect might put Polson on the forefront of developing new school safety techniques.
The Polson School District is implementing a new non-lethal tool to help combat violent intruders.
We're installing Reflex Protect and training the teachers in how to use this sort of last resort non-lethal defense answer to the arm the teachers debate.
Reflex Protect is a special non-lethal defense tool that is especially applicable in a school setting because of its new pistol-style spray head and the properties of its chemical projectile.
We used iocane, which is a CS gel. It's not pepper spray. It's a different substance that's odorless, colorless. We can get it in a very fine, sticky spray so it lands in one spot, it does its job, and then it disappears. So it's a whole new product that's very similar to other products. It's just its time has come.
Reflex Protect was initially developed to be used in hospitals, but the national school safety epidemic caused the company to pivot.
We began using it for hospitals, and once we realized it was safe enough for a hospital, that was about the time Parkland happened. And that's when the call came for us to make one for schools. Polson is the first school in Montana and in fact in the country to implement this new solution.
Being the first school might put Polson on the forefront of developing new school safety techniques, something that Anderson says could have only happened in Montana.
This couldn't have happened anywhere but Montana. I'm delighted to been able to work with a whole bunch of great Montanans to get us here, and we look forward to sharing it with everybody else in the state.
In Polson, Connor McCauley, MTN News.
Other schools in Montana have begun to approach Reflex Protect about using the product. Reflex Protect has also sold its product to the Sun River Valley School District.